So the topic is about cybersecurity. I will give some awareness. So I suppose within 15 minutes it's difficult to go through cybersecurity. It's a big topic, but it's still a very important topic. As I heard yesterday the presentation today, and I think everybody is looking towards, and somehow data security and information security is holding us. So actually not. And perhaps you have one or another interesting idea how you can integrate it into your projects or into your programs what you are leading. I'm from Technische Hochschule Nürnberg, or Nuremberg Institute of Technology. Since 2021, I'm professor for digitalization in healthcare, a very general topic. So we are applied university, so we are looking forward to work with different companies. And one of a company is naturally the neighbor in Nuremberg, is the Klinikum Nuremberg. So that's why I will show you some results from two EU projects as well. Okay, so the healthcare environment, I think if we can just have a short jump in this environment, in a clinical operational environment, we will see that it's a very stressful environment. There are many people who are walking through. It's an open space. Perhaps they are technicians. They are in different roles and so on. But actually, they can bring something to your hospital too. And if it's something happened, then there is this kind of management meeting where each hospital tried to figure out how you can came out from a cyber attack and so on and so forth. So if we look back to and as example, Emoted, I was leading PMO and business administration department at Klinikum Fürth, and 2019 December there was an Emoted cyber attack, and not only Hospital Fürth but Frankfurt as well, Frankfurt city services, and University Gießen, and many other companies were involved. So we had a different kind information news, and at some point, 2, 3, 4 months later, somebody already were stating that they are out, so they can now work very well. All services are up and running. But actually, it took for Klinikum Fürth at least 1 year. So it was a really tough topic to handle all the processes and so on. And it's not about IT in general; it's about a process. If you don't have a service, a particular service, so you are not able to provide services for your patients. So actually, if I summarize it all, so you can see here, think this part where I am. That's true. Here it is. You can find it in every company, in every organization. There is some small piece, and it's really it's about how to figure out where it fits. So I will introduce you very short and briefly to cybersecurity, the role of digital security in shaping the future of healthcare, strengthening cybersecurity for medical technology, and I will finish with defining the right and appropriate cybersecurity measures. So if we look at the defender mindset, so you typically think you are completely protected as a Chinese wall, but actually there are plenty things how the attacker could go in. And if you look for an attacker mind. So he is gathering information, identifies vulnerabilities with small points, pivoting high value assets, identify profit possibilities, very important nowadays, mining, ransom, spying, and so on. So, and in general, it is a low noise. So you really don't know what's happening currently in the organization. So you know this circle, it's a typical triangle and circle. So it's about CII, confidentiality, integrity, and availability. In the circle of a communication, software and hardware, and it's very important. I will link it to in another topic. So, in general, every organization should have some kind of security information and event management with a different functionality. You know it. If we look through the history now, the last 10 years, vulnerabilities are getting higher. There's a big numbers. You see that every year we got more and more vulnerabilities, which are known vulnerabilities. The diagram in the middle showed that partly of this vulnerabilities, 2%, were exploited, so they were really used by attackers. And another thing is that there is enough institute and companies who are looking for a proof of concept strategies to find out these vulnerabilities. So it's like, you know, they are publishing, there is a vulnerability, another publishing how you can replay this vulnerability, and then there are attackers who are perhaps using. So it's kind of balancing between. So you know, you need to show it everybody what's happening currently, what kind of vulnerabilities you have, and so on. But on the other side, you have to be aware that this information could be perhaps misused by attacker. Last half year, from January to June, this year. This is a diagram showing you the main attackers, let's say, solutions. Partly there are network edge storage, content management system, open source software, and so on and so forth. So you see that the very interesting thing that you see in the right down corner, AI. So AI is not a part of the attacker, not currently. I think there is enough space for attackers to go to another vulnerabilities. So what is the role? You are familiar with ENISA. ENISA is a European organization for cybersecurity. They stated 10 emerging topics for until 2030. And I think 2 of them were familiar to healthcare, especially the 18th topic would be exploitation of e-health data, genetic data, and so on. So they are expecting this is something that will happen. It's just a matter of times it will be coming. So you have to be prepared. That means you know the vulnerabilities, you have a good IT teams, perhaps you have even a good security operation center, and so on. So very quick basics. So if we look at the whole structure, how the networks are organized, very technical, but we can abstract it. So you have on a different level different attacks. And perhaps you are familiar with this kind of diagrams already circulating in internet. It's very interesting how you look through onto a cyber attack through a networking. Then without networking, there will be no attacks in this regard. So if you look for all these levels of networking, starting from the bottom where the bit and bytes going until the application, the 7 layers. So you have a different kind of attacks which are which can be performed. So looking at back at the very important triangle of CIA, let's extract some very important knowledge from that. So we have a communication, we have software, and we have a hardware. And now we are coming, so typically every organization is built with 3 layers, I will say. It's about organizational layer, it's application layer, and technology layer. I think it's familiar to you, and you can combine or you can connect it to a networking layers too. So this information. So actually you really know need to know what's happening in the layers below. And so it's not just have a team and have a contact person somewhere by Kaspersky, Sophos, and so on, but really to understand what's happening in my organization. So actually, in other words, if you look at an organization on a 3 layers, so if you have on the right side some services, some functions which were enabled for example, patient admission, registration, some other functionalities, and so on, and one functionality is or one component is out, so you know how it influences the whole your organization. So that means actually if you are doing a project, it's very important, and especially a transformation project where you are taking into account more information system which will be then changed and so on. You have to be aware about what is an impact onto your processes. So the whole big picture should be somehow familiar to IT department, but perhaps to other departments who is working with projects, digitalization, and so on and so forth. So strengthening security, there were 2 big projects, EU projects. I was involved and represented a hospital in Nuremberg in that project. And it's a 3 years run project. So last year we finished the second one, AI, so artificial intelligence for health security. So really all involved companies packed many different components, AI components, to find out vulnerabilities in the organization as fast as possible. You can read it a little bit later. The slide deck is available. It consumes many information from the darknet, from hybrid net, different anonymization principles, and so on. So what would be the takeaways? One of the takeaways for cyber sane was there is no good infrastructure, even in Germany, that hospitals communicating about lessons learned before, within this period, and afterwards, what's happening with my organization if a cyber attack occurs. There is a one-direction information delivery to a special governmental organization like BSI, but it's nothing what can help the hospitals and healthcare providers in general. So what is the one takeaway message? And the next takeaway message at the AI, if you use AI components just to predict, just to find out faster when an attacker starts to doing some manipulation in the different kind of network layers and so on. You should simulate just before it. So actually you have to somehow, let's say, have a digital twin of your organization, I will say, and try in a particular matter of times, to simulate the different attacks based on vulnerabilities, because you know what kind of information system you have in place in your organization and so on. So so we are moving from cybersecurity age in general, I think, to cybersecurity artificial intelligence, and there are some very important points to take with you. You need to know the user behavior, and that's why I showed you this layers, organizational layer, application layer, and so on, so how it's integrating. There should be a deep packet inspection with AI possible. Machine learning models should be used in your organization. Perhaps you not aware that some already providers do it, but there would be a good reason to ask if it's already done. Risk-based approach should be adapted, and standardization. And if you are doing it doesn't matter what kind of project you are doing, you have to think about security by design and data safety by design. So it's very, very important to things. There is a concept, and this is the last slides, so-called zero trust architecture. So zero trust architecture is coming and is a tough thing now, everything to combine. I think yesterday we talked about interoperability platforms and so on. So zero trust architecture, that means I have to understand how the users really use the services in my organization, and I have to approve it, and if they have access, only then they can use it. That means that you have to somehow, if you have many applications, as already were stated, 150 to 400 applications in a hospital or in other healthcare providers, so you have to have allow the central management of security and access to this application, and not only to application, but even more to the functionality, so to the services. This is very important. As an example, my last slide, what does it mean? So you have different providers, profiles, patient, doctor, healthcare provider, or administrator, and so on, and you have different functionalities. And this kind of let's say this kind of example should be conducted in your organization. I think who is working in the IT department, they are familiar about so-called Orientierungshilfe Krankenhausinformationssystem, and it's from 2014, yes, 10 years ago. Who has implemented it? This is a question. I won't answer it. It's just an open question. So thank you very much.